Okay, this is just another video on the Homestead Act or the westward expansion. Just a brief overview of the entire process because you can't get enough video. This one's only going to be about 5 minutes, okay?
At the same time, the idea of manifest destiny, a phrase coined by a newspaper man, was beginning to take shape. This concept envisioned the United States expanding across the entire continent.
Manifest destiny, the belief that the United States would reach from ocean to ocean and across the entire continent of North America.
Soon, Americans began to buy into the inevitability of settling unexplored western frontiers, first moving into places such as Michigan, Arkansas, Wisconsin, and Ohio. In the 1840s and 50s, the nation expanded quickly, and in the span of just 5 years, the United States increased its size by a third. During this time, the country annexed Texas.
Annex means like let it into our country. Make it a part of our country. Like Puerto Rico or something.
Negotiated with Britain for half of the Oregon country, and acquired more land in the Mexican-American War, which would become the states of California, Nevada, Utah, parts of Arizona, Colorado, New Mexico, and Wyoming. People then began to move in numbers to the Great West, the California Gold Rush, the construction of the railroads.
California Gold Rush happened in 1849 in San Francisco, California. It's easy to remember this if you remember the football team, the San Francisco 49ers. Their helmets are gold, which is what they found in San Francisco. They're from San Francisco, which is the city where it was, and they're called the 49ers. Now, understand that in 1749 we weren't even a country, and in 1949 that was only about 70 years ago. So it would have been 1849 that the California Gold Rush happened.
The Mormons' long pilgrimage to Utah and the blazing of the Santa Fe and Oregon trails all contributed to the expansion. Between the California Gold Rush and the Civil War, Americans in growing numbers filled the Mississippi River Valley, the Southwest Territories, and the new states of Kansas and Nebraska. During the war, gold and silver discoveries drew prospectors, and later settlers, into Oregon, Colorado, Nevada, Idaho, and Montana. But the most rapid migration occurred after the Civil War.
After the Civil War, I don't know if this video is going to mention it, but after the Civil War, a huge number of people become free and they're able to get land. Who are those people? Slaves. Okay? Slaves that had one been property of the whites have now become free. And so a lot of these former slaves are going to head westward.
One factor in encouraging settlers to move west was the Homestead Act, passed in 1862, which allowed settlers to claim 160 acres of land for free. After filing for an application, the homesteader was required to improve the land, and after 5 years, could apply for the deed. Another important...
That thing back there in the back right here is a windmill. A windmill allows for water to be drawn from an underground aquifer. An aquifer is like an underground lake. So instead of someone having to manually go and pump the water themselves with their hand or roll up a barrel from the bottom of a well, the windmill does the pumping for them. And I'll explain that in a little bit.
Was the completion of the first transcontinental railroad in 1869. After 6 years of hard labor, the tracks were connected between Iowa and California, linking the existing Eastern Railroad network from the Atlantic to the Pacific coasts for the first time. Though these changes were very exciting for settlers heading west, seeking land and opportunity, it had serious consequences for Native Americans. Continental expansion meant the occupation and annexation of their homelands and dramatic changes to their traditions and lifestyles. Through numerous treaties and frequent Indian wars, The government, in the end, took over the vast majority of Indian lands and removed the First Peoples to reservations. By 1870, only portions of the Great Plains could truly be called unsettled, and most of
That is a picture of a herd of buffalo, also known as bison, which was critical to the Native Americans. Some tribes followed them around, but they definitely used all the horns, the hooves, the bones, the skins, the meat, everything was used, and very, very important to the Native American tribes in the Great Plains.
buffalo, for which the Indians depended on, had been killed. For most of the next 2 decades, the plains became the fabled open range, home to cowboys and their grazing cattle. However, by the late 1880s, yet more settlers moved in and fenced the Great Plains into family farms. The continued settlement and the wild rush of pioneers into the Oklahoma Indian Territory constituted the last chapter of the westward movement. By the early 1890s, the frontier had ceased to exist within the continental United States.
So by 1890, so the Homestead Act is 1862, the California Gold Rush is 1849, but by 1890, there's no more frontier. It's all being claimed, it's all being developed, okay? And so Manifest Destiny has been achieved.
The Old West today are ghost towns, artifacts in museums, and very few old-timers that continue to practice the ways of the past. However, history lives on in hundreds of fascinating tales of westward expansion, the trials and tribulations of tens of thousands of people who braved the frontier, the Native Americans who suffered through Manifest Destiny, and the biographies, notes, and memoirs of hundreds of interesting characters who lived during these adventurous times. To see these many tales, actual historic accounts, more educational videos, and
Okay, and so another example of a video on the Homestead Act and westward expansion, Manifest Destiny, all that stuff. I'll post some more up in a little bit.